That is not what I intended to do. We should stop driving the computer from the other side of the room. Right. Standing start. So just come to any comfortable position, and remember, standing start doesn't necessarily mean stiff. You can sort of just be in any stable position. We are going to be moving with our feet, so sitting down to start with isn't quite an option. But first of all, just find your comfortable position on your feet, standing, and we'll do breath synchronized movement, but from breath work, but from a movement perspective. So take your time, find your base, make sure that your feet feel nice and grounded. And remember, anything that comes to standing on one foot, you can use a support. Not support to lean on, but something to stabilize yourself. So just stay as you are. Let your hands just hang softly by your sides. Find your gazing point. And first of all, just allow your eyes to close with resting where your gazing point would be. Take your attention to the very top of your head. Remember, you don't need to stay still. You can fidget around. I'm just going to start with a little bit of work with the neck. So just imagining that little piece of elastic at the top of your head, reaching all the way up to the ceiling and slightly drawing you up. Let your shoulders drop down. Let your face relax. And very slightly draw your belly in. So it's not firm. You're not firming it and trying to put on too tight jeans. But what you are trying to do is like you're walking into a job interview. So you're just very slightly tucking yourself in. You can just feel that slight tautness in your abdomen. With your head tall, relaxing the shoulders, letting the arms hang heavy. Breathe comfortably. Feel the movement of the breath. And start to turn your head from side to side, but keep the crown of the head lifted. So really be mindful of any tipping, and the shoulders may be lifting and lowering as you turn from side to side. Go slowly so that your body has time to acknowledge the muscles that it's using. So the slower you move with all of these sort of things, the better, more effective it is, because your body gets plenty of time. Brain, body. If you start to seize up anywhere, just see about where you might be holding tension that you can soften, like, softening the knees or having a little shuffle, whatever you need. Next time you come through center, just pause and draw the chin forward and down towards the chest, but don't compress the front of the neck, so don't let your head become too heavy. Shoulders relax. Then as you inhale, draw the chin forward and up. So you're not throwing your head back, but there's length at the front of your neck. Just do that a couple more times, forward and down, forward and up. Let the breath settle, so just check you're not holding a breath. Lovely stuff. Come back to center and take your right ear towards your right shoulder. Maybe use your right arm to gently guide the head over, but it's optional. You don't actually need to do it. Have a whole breath. And then inhale to center and exhale it to the side. A whole breath. And just flow from side to side a couple of times. Don't go too quickly because you'll start to feel sick, but do go to the point where you can feel the stretch kick in. Try and use your hands connected to your thighs to note if your shoulders are starting to rise and fall. You'll feel your fingertips moving up and down your legs, so try and keep your shoulders still so you can just feel your fingertips pressing into the sides of your thighs without moving. You don't have to grip, you can just feel it. Lovely. So next time your right ear is coming down towards your right shoulder, just roll your head forward, down and across to the left, and then forward, down and across to the right. Do a couple of half circles, and while you're doing them, Think about whether your neck and your back of your neck is comfortable. And if it is, you can carefully and slowly and without throwing your head back, do some gentle full circles. And just remember, full circles, you do not compress the back of your neck. So think about your chin reaching for the ceiling rather than throwing your head back. So your head is not exactly heavy when you do this movement. If you're not sure, if you're not comfortable, just carry on with your half circles. When you're ready, go back the other way. So start at center, roll your head for 3 or 4, slow, very careful, not too big circles. You'll know if your shoulders are feeling kind of tense and tight, you'll feel all those muscles moving around. I always do. Lovely. And next time your left ear is over to your left shoulder, either just leave it there or take your left hand over the top to the right side of your head and just gently draw it down. If you need to, I get plenty of stretch without it, so it's not required. Check if your belly has gone too baggy. So this morning the analogy was think bag for life rather than corner shop carrier bag when you're thinking about your belly. So we're not going for a really strong engagement. It's not cardboard box or you know, something really firm. It's your bag for life, not a standard plastic carrier bag. Okay, when you're ready, come back to center. You can keep your eyes closed if you want. It's totally your choice. Just start to bring your hands towards your heart. Remember, you can shuffle around. If you're starting to seize up, just shuffle around a lot. Bring your hands to your heart. Take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, bring your hands forward. Inhale, take them up. Exhale, cactus. Elbows squeeze right back behind the waist. Palms rotating towards the ceiling. Just lift the chin a little. Inhale, circle up. Exhale, hands to heart. 2 more like that. And then we'll start moving. Inhale. Exhale, forward. Inhale up. Exhale, cactus. Inhale up. Exhale, hands to heart. 1 more time. Inhale up. Exhale, wide. Cactus. Sorry, lost my rhythm. Inhale to come all the way up. You know what we're doing anyway. And exhale, hands to heart. Sometimes you overthink things and then the brain kicks in and I overthink it. Bring your hands back down to center. Find your gazing point in front of you. Make sure it's not me because I might wobble. And start to float your arms up to just shoulder height. Lift your heels slowly and exhale to lower them. If you want to do this with your eyes closed, you're absolutely welcome, but it is much harder. So all we're doing, hands coming to shoulder height, lifting up high onto the balls of the feet and then softening down. With the breath, exhaling to soften down, slight engagement all the way through. So feeling light and tall. All the joints are reasonably soft. Lovely. 1 more of these. See if you can hold at the top. Quite a lot of work there, finding the balance. And then exhale to soften down. Take your left hand to your left hip and pick up your right leg and have some ankle circles on the right foot. A few going one way, a few going the other way. Not too floppy, not too tight, just whatever you need. It's a little bit of balance, a little bit of challenge for your muscles and your back coordination. When you're ready, switch sides. Other hand to hip, release the left hand, left knee lifts, ankle circles on the left side. Brilliant. Good stuff. When you're ready, release the left foot. Take the feet a little bit wider. Point the toes out. Inhale to circle the arms softly up. And exhale to sit into a soft high squat, but generally keep the tailbone pointing to the ceiling. And just do that a few more times. Inhale up, just move nice and fluidly. If you come into your squat and you want to work with better integrity, just keep the belly in, keep the spine tall, switch your thighs on, drive the knees out wide. We're only down there for a moment, so you can afford to use a little muscle. Lovely stuff. Let's have one more down. And come all the way up. And then take the arms out wide, palms facing down. I'm just going to bring my feet in a little bit because I took them quite wide for my squat, but you might not need to. Squeeze your belly, keep your hips steady, and as you exhale, turn one palm up and reach to the side. Inhale to center, exhale other side. So nice fluid movements, and you can soften the elbows. I'm going to go a little lighter today. So I'm just going to soften the elbows. And just waking up the waist here. Side to side, nice and square in the hips. Lovely. One more on each side. And release. Hands come to the hips, and let's do some hip circles. So let them go this time. We haven't done these for ages, so it should be quite nice. Just start to take your hips out to one side, roll them forward, out to the other side, back. So you start with a diamond just to wake up all the muscles. It's been so long since we did this that you might find that all of this work that we've done on abdomen, waist, you might find that you're much more connected to this movement than you were last time we did it, which was probably a good year ago. So now start to see if you can smooth out those corners and go for nice big circles, but keep engagement. So core is still working. You're not going all soggy. Notice how the glutes feel. You can keep them a little switched on. You can keep the thighs a little switched on. So everything feels controlled and smooth, but still nice, not too intense. Come all the way forward and then go back the other way. So I know that with the summer term, it's not really a case of everybody being at all the classes every week. That's not how summer term works. But if you have connected with all the different bits of work that we've been focused on this year, you will be able to do a very simple class like this and it become much more, have a lot more integrity than it would have done a year ago. So hopefully you're finding that little feeling toned, smooth, controlled movement. When you're ready, just come back to center, bring your feet in again, and hopefully you're lined up with the front of your mat. If you're not, come to the front of your mat. So you want to be facing the short edge. So I'm going to work this way because it's better. I am always lined up with all the edges of my mat on this mat, but this works better. We're going to do some half sun salutations and then just build in standing flows. So work along with me. All familiar stuff, but you might need to remind yourself of alignments. Feet are under the hips. Inhale to circle the arms up towards the ceiling. Exhale into your soft forward fold. Keep your knees steady, don't let them fall out or fall in. Deep bend of the knees for your soft forward fold. Once you're down, have a wiggle of your shoulders. See if you can really bend your knees enough that you're able to drape your body on your thighs. So it feels like you're sitting on a chair with your upper body draping over the seat of the chair. See if you can do that. It doesn't matter if you can't, but a deep bend is what we're after. Stretching out the lower back. This is what this is for. Keep breathing. When you're ready, come to a halfway lift. Hands to shins for the first one. Draw the shoulders out wide. Let the body, the upper body, parallel with the floor. Nice long spine. And from here, gently start to tense your thighs, pull your belly up and hinge from the hips. See if you can keep the legs longer. They don't have to be straight, just a little longer. Have a breath here. If there's any pain in your hamstrings, backs and the thighs, then you must bend your knees, but sensation is normal at this stage. One more breath in your forward fold. Soften your knees and inhale to reach all the way up to the ceiling. Come up with a flat back, nice and tall. Arms up, and then dive all the way back down. Soft forward fold. Nice controlled movements. Halfway lift, inhale. Fingertips to the floor if your legs are feeling long. Exhale, hinge from the hips. Soften the knees, inhale, float up. And just keep moving through this sequence for a few more rounds. And just keep finding that control. Don't think about the end of the movement so much as the flow between them. I'm just on my halfway lift now. So when you want to say flow through, you're just carrying on moving. Fold. I know not everybody likes it when I do this. So from this next tall mountain, exhale, soft forward fold. You do not have to work ever in tandem with me. Inhale, halfway lift. You shouldn't really. Exhale, hinge from the hips. Standing forward fold. Inhale, circle up, all the way up. Next time we'll stroll back to downward facing dog. Exhale, soft forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, hinge from the hips, forward fold. And bend your knees if you need to get your hands to the floor, otherwise stroll your legs back to downward facing dog. And if you normally do dolphin, you can lower your elbows down, or you can lower your knees and then come to dolphin, but otherwise, wherever you are, it's a pedal for the legs. If you don't normally do dog, and we need this pedaling motion, and you don't fancy dolphin because it's strong, you stay in ragdoll and you pedal your legs there. That's how that happens. This is to get into the calves, so focus a lot on the extended leg, and again, slow the movement down. Do it like you're underwater. Pay close attention to your body mechanics and enjoy the stretch, the connection with all those muscles that we have been building. All right, when you're ready, it's cat-cow next. So knees forward and down. If you prefer to be seated, just come to seated. Anywhere for your cat-cow or forearms, your choice. But knees under hips, hands under shoulders, nice straight arms. And as you inhale, lift your heart, lift your tailbone, cow pose. As you exhale, round your spine, draw your belly up, pelvic floor, squeeze the shoulders wide. Inhale to lift and exhale to round, and just keep rolling through, and you tune it up to your liking. So cat-cow can be really intense, or it can be very sort of sinewy and bendy. Either way, there's always the ripple of the spine. That is the number one priority. Just a reminder for those who are wanting to go in for the heat, the hot heat, it's first of all, it's all in cat pose. Second of all, it involves drawing your belly up, your pelvic floor up, firing up your thighs by pressing into your shins, firing up your shoulders by spreading them wide, and pushing into your hands. Pushing into your hands means also gripping the floor with your fingertips as well as the heels and palms of your hands. It's a lot of work. If you really go for it, it will make you hot and sweaty. Lovely. One more round. Finish in your cow pose, come to neutral, take the knees out wide, toes together, as wide as you can manage. Slide your arms forward and don't let your arms go soggy. Slide them forward. We want an active rest. So don't sort of flop into your child's pose. We have not done enough to flop into a child's pose. So really enjoy this as a stretch. Draw the bum back towards the heels as much as you can. Imagine that you're trying to walk your fingertips forward a little bit more, so your shoulders get a really long stretch. Keep the spine long, feel those shoulder blades moving up the back maybe. And just take a note. We're going to do some weight bearing work through arms next. If you want to avoid this, then you can do your dolphin or plank practice, forearm plank, or you can do bicep curls with your hands. But for people who are avoiding hard work or weight bearing through wrists, so you're probably going to need to take a break here. So we're going to come up back to all fours. Take your hands out a little bit wider. And you're just maybe going to need to adjust the position of your hands. We're going to do some half push-ups. Doesn't matter how low you go. In fact, for most people, I'd recommend putting like a pile of books under your face so you don't feel inclined to go too low. But your arms are going to go wide because your elbows are going out to the side. So belly up, firm in the upper back. It's not a belly movement. It's not a core movement. As you exhale, take your elbows out, lower your face towards the ground, as far as it will go with control. Exhale to lift. Now, what you want to know is whether you're actually using your arms. It should really only be your arms doing the work here. So if you are bending your back in order to get down, then you're working a little wrong. It needs to be fairly hard work. If it's not hard work here, take your hands forward a little bit and come into a half plank and do it. And you really need to tense then your glutes as well. With control. As soon as you feel like you are like, that's enough, it's burning, you can come back to child's pose and take a breather. So you just do what you can do. I'm watching, having a little look, nice and controlled. Beautiful. These look great. Last one, if you can do it with control. Exhale to lift, inhale to lower. Very good work. Sit it back into child's pose. Have a little rest. Bring the palms of your hands together, cross the thumbs. Keep the elbows on the floor and draw the thumbs back towards the back of the head. Chill for a moment. So we're going to do another set. We'll do tricep push-ups as well. And I am going to show people how to do this without weight bearing. I've got a few exercises that work without weight bearing for this. Lovely. When you're ready, we're coming back to all fours. Forearms or hands, your choice. I'm going to do a little bit of work for the glutes. So nice and square in your tabletop. Take your right knee up in line with your right hip, stamping the ceiling with your foot. And just start to pulse. So lift the leg as high as you can take it. You'll feel your bum squeeze. And just start to take some little pulses towards the ceiling. Count for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release, switch sides. Just quick pulses. That's where you go into intensity and you pulse there. So go to a neutral position, then push up into your bum clenches, and then pulse there. Ooh, we need to do another 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and come back to center, straight into tiger balances. And this is the end of our all four segment. So a little bit of work here. Extend, right leg back, left arm forward, stretch, square off the hips, pull your belly up. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, come to center, other side. Extend for 5, square hips, 4, 3, 2, 1. Back to center. Tuck the toes, walk the hands forward, stretch back, active child's pose again. Great work. We're making our way to downward facing dog and then back to standing forward fold. So just if you want more pedaling here in downward dog, please go ahead. All right, I'm going to walk to the front of the mat, and if you want more challenge but without going huge, try and keep your legs as straight as possible and walk on tiptoes all the way as far as you can go without releasing your hands from the floor. And when you have to, then that's fine, you can release. So that's just extra challenge for those who want it. Soften when you come to the front of the mat into ragdoll. Opposite elbow in opposite hand, have an angle, have a relax. So again, Taking a deep bend of the knees. Maybe you can drape your upper body over the thighs. Maybe you can't, but that's what the stretch in the lower back is what we're looking for. And maybe take a sway around the legs if that's possible. And remember, you can do this all very high up. You don't have to have your head above your heart, below your heart, sorry. You can be quite high up for all of this work. Lovely stuff. We can do a version of our folded twists, but we're going to do it slightly differently because we've reached a point now where alignment is really valuable. So bend your knees enough that you can get your hands to the floor or at least have blocks under them. Doesn't matter, either is fine. Left hand stays down. Bring your right hand to your right hip, like I'm a little teapot, and start to rotate your chest to the right. So it's all in the chest. Your arm isn't doing anything. Just keep that rotation there. You can stretch one leg if you want to, it's fine. As you exhale, squeeze your belly in and see if you can find a bigger twist. And then release to center, switch sides. Right hand down, left hand to the left hip. Take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, squeeze your belly in and rotate your chest to the left, but keep your hand down. This movement, when we do it, quite often becomes about people's arms waggling around. It's not about arms, it's about chest. It's about spine, upper body. On your next exhale, squeeze your belly in. See how that feels for your twist. Come back to center, relax, soften the knees, and inhale to circle all the way up. Reach for the ceiling. And let's have that twist here, standing. So I'll face you so you can see. Bring your right hand to your hip. Just rest it there. Bring your left hand forward. So you're looking at your thumbnail. And then rotate your chest to the right. So you're doing I'm a little teapot, but it's a twisted teapot. You can turn your head if you want. Check your shoulders are down. So this is our vertical twist, but without that back arm getting in the way. And your right hand is helping you to keep your hips forward best you can. Take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, empty your belly out, squeeze your glutes, and just notice how that feels for your twist. You can release it on the inhale. So come back to center when you're ready. Right arm forward, left hand to hip. Keep your right hand where it is, you're looking at your thumbnail. Take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, rotate your chest to the left, and you can turn your head as well. Just take your head to wherever it wants to go. From here, take a deep breath in. Exhale, empty your belly out. Lovely. Squeeze your butt. Notice how it feels. It just makes the twist nicer. Sometimes you ain't got the energy for it, and it makes you sweat regardless. Okay, come back to center. Softly reach the arms up towards the ceiling. Lovely. Exhale, right hand to thigh, left arm across, side bend. Try and keep your hips still. Lovely stuff. Inhale to center. Exhale over to the left. Take your time. There's no need to rush through any of this. Good work. Gentle engagement. Inhale to center. Exhale, bring your hands to the hips. Have a look down at your feet. We're going to step back to warrior one. So I need to change my position on my mat. Hips stay aligned with the front of the mat for this one. This is why hands are on hips to help you with this. Keep your feet on tram lines. So pick up your right leg, step it back. Turn your right foot out a little bit to the right, and you'll notice your hips are squiffing over to the right. Draw them back to center and adjust your foot to accommodate it. Now, have a good look at your front leg. You should be able to see all of your toes without leaning forward, but you might be pulling your knee right back so that your thigh doesn't have to do any work. Now, you guys are all beyond that. So we're going to bring that knee right over the ankle to make a proper bend, and it will make your thigh burn. So it doesn't have to be as broad as mine, and also the camera angle makes it look broader. But your hips are forward, your knee is deeply bent, your thigh is starting to burn, your butt is squeezing, and your upper body is in a completely straight line. Release your hands, draw them up towards the ceiling. Imagine you're holding a beach ball over your head. Squeeze your belly in, clench your right butt cheek. and clench your left thigh. So you're working quite hard now. This should not feel easy. If it does, you're turning into a carrier bag rather than a bag of life. So squeeze. It's not what these postures really benefit from just putting the effort in. Otherwise, it's sort of medium amounts of work and no real benefit. Keep breathing. We're going to change this into pyramid pose. So when you're ready, hands come back to the hips. Lengthen up your left leg, so make it straight-ish at least. Hips stay forward, and as you exhale, hinge forward about halfway. Just soften down. Look for the stretch at the back of your left leg. If it's too strong, put the bend back in or make the step a little less deep, whatever it is for you. Take a deep breath in from here, and as you exhale, soften down as far as you want to go or are able to go. And then you can release your hands either to your front leg, thigh, shin, ankle, or to fingertips to the floor, or to blocks. And from here, if you can find your balance, you can just let your upper body way down, and you look back between the space between your feet, back to the room behind you. And you can just rest here. Now, if you're wanting to, you can even have your hands resting on a chair, seat, or a stool or something, a wall even, so that you can actually enjoy this hamstring stretch. It essentially is just a hamstring stretch. And it should feel really nice for your legs if you do it well. I don't even teach this in the formal way that you're supposed to. We just want that good stretch. Lovely. When you're ready, lift your gaze towards your front foot, so you're looking at your front big toe. Bend your left knee back over your left ankle. Hop your right foot back, so you're now in a runner's lunge, hopefully with your fingertips on the floor, but you might be fingertips on your thigh. That's fine. This is a good lunge. Find your balance. You need to sink down a little. Keep your knee high if you can. You can come up standing and step back if you need to. And then if you can, take your arms up into crescent lunge. And mine is big, but it doesn't need to be this big, right? So I do this on numerous of these on a daily basis. So years and years of practice. When you're ready, shift your weight forward, take a big step back to mountain pose. That is a hard move. You might have to hoik. Hoiking is fine. Have a swing out, ventilate. This is natural air conditioning. Release the tension. We'll do all of that on the other side. Good shake out. So come back to your mountain pose. Let's just do 3 half sun salutations with no fancy business first, just to stretch out, and then we'll finish that whole little sequence again. So inhale to circle the arms up. Exhale for a soft forward fold. Inhale for a halfway lift. Nice and long in the legs, stretch them out. Exhale, hinge from the hips. Inhale, circle. 2 more like that, work at your own pace. Exhale, if you want to follow with me, soft forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, hinge from hips. And inhale, circle up. Enjoy all these stretches. 1 more time. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, hinge from the hips, and we're going to hang around and dangle and stretch out a little bit more. If you like just hanging out and dangling, feel free to stay here and pedal the legs. Otherwise, walk your feet back to downward facing dog and pedal them there. So I just want you to pedal your leg out, that's all. That's all I'm asking for. Bit of a pedal, doesn't matter where it happens. So for those of us who love being upside down, it's just downward facing dog is a nice posture. I like being in dolphin as well though, so to be fair, if my wrists were aching today, which they're not because I've rested, I would be doing this in dolphin anyway. So it's just whatever you fancy. All right, when you're ready, stroll your feet forward again. Lovely, standing forward fold. Inhale to circle up, reach for the ceiling, side bend, left hand to left thigh, right arm across. Keep those hips nice and steady. Inhale to center, right hand to right thigh, left arm across, side bend, keep the hips steady. Squeeze the belly a little bit. Inhale to center, exhale, bring hands to hips, hands to hips. And step your left leg back on a tram line. Turn it out to the side. Make sure your hips are still squared with the front of the mat, and if they're not, rotate your back foot forward a little bit so they are. Make sure your left knee is firmly bent over the left ankle. We're doing this slowly because we're trying to up-level these postures now. So if you're warrior one, and I say this because it's you guys as opposed to if it's someone random on the video, warrior one is okay to be like this, but once you're getting strong, you want to be putting that bend into the knee and challenging your thighs. So just find the deep bend that you can. Hold your warrior one. Chest lifted, hips forward. Front thigh is working. Knees over the ankle. You are not leaning forward because this is really bad. I mean, this is horrible in this posture. So you want to be good and square. And you're not leaning your upper body forward either. That's not this posture. So heart is lifted, but if I were to draw your body, it would be a straight line from the crown of your head to the floor. Release your hands to the ceiling, like you're holding a beach ball over your head. Just hold it. I know it's probably burning. Clench your left butt cheek. Everything is on. Belly is drawing in. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hands to hips, pyramid pose. Lengthen out that front leg. If you need to adjust your back leg to make it better, to make it work, feel free. Hips are still square. Inhale to lift your heart. Exhale to hinge forward from the hips. Just keep your eyes moving your gazing point halfway down. It's very, very, very balancing. Halfway down, take a deep breath in. As you exhale, soften, soften, soften. Hands can come to thighs, shins, ankle blocks. Just stay on hips. They can even be in reverse prayer behind your back if you want that extra balance challenge. And then gaze. If you can, relax your neck and gaze back between your feet. Find that safe, deep stretch at the back of your right leg. There might be, I've got a really good stretch at the back of my left leg as well, actually, at the moment. These stretches should always be in the thick part of the muscle, halfway between the joints, less so at the joints. So in this case, your joints would be your ankles, your knees, and your backside. Ankles not too much of an issue because it's your ligaments. Achilles tendon might be getting a stretch at the back there. Take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, draw the belly up. Just see if you can find a nice little squeeze there. We're coming up to our runner's lunge. So bend your front knee, right knee over right ankle rather. Stomp your back foot back, lift the heel. Fingertips can be on the floor or on blocks or on your thigh. Nice and open in the chest, a very strong posture. When you're ready, find your gazing point and smoothly lift that gazing point, come up to crescent lunges. Really hard work, so I know your thighs are talking to you and your butt probably. Just hold it. 5, 4, 3, last push, 2, 1. Big step forward, mountain pose. That's the last of the heavy work, I promise. We're going to stretch out now. So, have a swing, ventilate, shake anything off that needs a good shake off. We're going to stretch now. So the thing about a class like that is that if we'd done that a year ago, that would have been reasonably easy work, but because everyone's stronger, you will do it properly. And so that you get that yoga, that funky yoga sweat that happens. It's hard, I find it hard. So when you're ready, let's float down to the mat. Big stretch up. Soft forward fold. Halfway lift. With the breath, standing forward fold. If you like a good hamstring stretch still, you can stay here, but I'm just going to stroll back to dog and then lower the knees. Take a child's pose. Knees wide, toes together, or knees together and round over your thighs. Just depends on what you need. So don't go into full floppy mode. This is all active stretching. So we're not going to be pushing for great big. I'm not going to give you a sudden push for core right now. No, I'm not. I promise I'm not going to do it. Done plenty. It's always very tempting, but we're not going to. So lovely. Let's come to a reclining. So we're going to do figure of four. Ali and Les, if you prefer, you can go for pigeon, but I think you're going to get a better glute stretch if you go in for reclining pigeon with me. But it's your choice. If you like pigeon, feel free. So roll all the way back. We'll do a whole sequence of stretches here, not just reclining pigeon pose. So let's start with our pelvic rolls. It's totally up to you whether you do the core work here. I am not going to, but if you want to, you can. So just working with pelvic rolls. Start to peel your back to the hips up, so the tailbone points up, draw the belly down towards the ground, flatten out the lower back. And then roll it the other way. So roll along the backs of the hips, point the tailbone down towards the ground, feel your lower back lift. And just rolling up and down with the breath. I'm just going for back massage here. You can choose. On the exhale, you can pull your belly in quite firmly and tense your thighs and your glutes for your pelvic roll, point tailbone up. And then inhale to relax and stretch out your belly. Lift the belly, roll tailbone down. But you really don't need to. Just enjoying massaging out the lower back. And it is really a rolling movement, not an up-down movement. We're going to turn this into a yin rolling bridge. I think we did this last week, actually. So start to shuffle your feet out a little bit wider. You can go for a normal bridge if you want to keep that heat and that warmth going. Point the toes out in line with the knees, so you're going to have to guess what that is, unless you can feel it quite clearly. Don't let your knees flop around, but when you're ready on the inhale, roll the spine all the way up. Do not let your neck get all crunched up at the top. And then exhale to peel the spine all the way down. So it's an inhale up, an exhale down, and just treat it as a massage for your back muscles, which are strong, and they love using the floor as a rolling pin. So roll up, roll down. Also think of the front of the body, getting a good stretch as well. So if you really want to get into the front of those hips, you might need to bring the feet a little bit closer in. You can really pull the hips up high and stretch out front of the hips as well. If you enjoy these back bends, you can come up high and hang out there for a bit. I'm not actually in the mood, but I mean, it feels nice, but my brain doesn't want to. You can hang out there for a few breaths if that's your cup of tea. When your spine does come back down, your feet are just pretty much in the right position for wipers, which you're going to take slowly. So as you exhale, lower the knees over to the right. If you don't like wipers, any kind of twist. Inhale to center, exhale to the left. Just any kind of soft little rocking movement side to side for your hips. Let the hips roll. Let the lower back roll. Get the stretch through the waist. So we'll come back to our waist and glute work next week. We're always doing it. It's always there. All of the side bends, the way we do them now, they're all waist strengthening. But we'll come back to the Pilates work next week. And also we will do it on Wednesday morning. So the Wednesday morning video will have that work contained in it as well. Take your time, roll. Lovely. When you're ready, we're going to come back to center. We're going forward, figure of four. So walk your feet closer to your bum. Bring the knees back in line with the hips, right ankle over left thigh. Point your right toes back towards your shin and make an effort to press your right thigh away from your body so the hip is nice and open. Your shoulders and your head have to stay on the mat for this. If you can't do it like that, you need to use a strap around your leg to draw it in. Otherwise, pull your left leg up towards your body, weave your hands behind the thigh or around the shin, if depending on how long your arms are, how juicy your thighs are, whatever it is, whatever, how tight your hamstrings, your hips are, sorry. But it doesn't matter where they go. Squeeze your left knee in towards your chest until you feel that strong sensation around the outer edge of your right butt cheek. And I tell you, after the work that we've done today, it is likely it's not going to take much. It was quite like there was sounds in this morning's class, and people were like, "Oh God, that is really strong." So yeah, it should be there. Some people don't notice their glutes, though. I have to say, it's not everyone's. I was going to say Achilles heel, but it's too much like mixing metaphors. One more breath here. Release your left foot to the floor, but stay in figure of four. Take the arms out wide, the palms up. Lower both sets of legs over to the left. So now your right foot is on the floor with the right knee lifted. Then your left knee is on the floor. Keep drawing that right thigh away. If this does not feel okay for your hips, then you need to restack your legs and have just a normal reclining twist will be fine. So just breathe here. Let the body soften into the twist, or if you like powering into things, you can, but just don't hurt yourself. You can turn your head to the right if you wish. It's just winding down. Wonderful. And when you're ready, bring the knees back up to center. We'll switch sides. Left ankle over right thigh. Press that left thigh away so the hip is nice and open before you even move. I mean, you can do it with muscles if you've got the muscles for it. You can use your hand. Point your left toes back towards your shin and then lift your right foot. You can put it on a block. If your glutes are that tight that you don't want to bring your foot up all the way to your chest or close enough to weave your hands behind the thigh or the shin, that's totally fine. It doesn't matter. You can also put your right foot on the wall. You can put it on a chair. You can put it just up. The secret to quite a lot of the yoga poses is to, if you can imagine them in different permutations. So you can do this sitting on a chair. You sit on a chair, you cross your ankle over your thigh and then lean forward. That will give you, it's a glute stretch, but it's also a mighty band stretch. So there you go. Now a bit of a rock. You can, whatever you need, find that left glute. Breathe into it. It's a very strong sensation. Just breathe into it. It shouldn't be pain. Strong sensations are not the same as pain. Sometimes they're unpleasant, but they're not painful. And it should never feel like it's knackering your joints. Now, when you're ready, you can release your right foot. Take the arms out wide again. Keep your feet in figure of four, lower both sets of legs over to the right. Right foot on the floor, sorry, left foot on the floor, left knee lifted. And you can stack this if you rather, just stack your legs again. Soften. Easy. Just a few minutes left. I'm not going to suddenly change anything here. Don't forget to turn your head to the left if your neck will allow it. Nice. When you're ready, knees come back up, knees come to chest. Your choice of rock and roll, whatever you need. You can have happy baby if it feels like the right thing today, or just a normal rock and roll can feel nice. I think I'm just gonna go for hands. So something that's quite nice to do, especially when you've done a lot of work like warriors, at least for me, is to put the hands on the knees and really pull the knees forward. So it's more happening sort of down the lower back of the hips area. Depends though, you know, it's different for different people. Okay, and when you're ready, we're just going to roll onto our sides. And I would stop on your side, rest your head in the cradle of your arm and just chill there for a little while, have a few breaths. You can stay on your back if you prefer, but I think go to your side is nice. Have a really restful, just a minute to chill, breathe, check in, how you're feeling. So it wasn't, you know, it was still an energized class. It just wasn't as much of the shaky, sweaty core energized. There was still plenty of work to be had. Take a moment to allow yourself to relax and let your body release. And just very carefully and slowly make your way to a comfortable seat. Take your time. Lovely. So just sitting comfortably, fingertips on the floor just behind you, in line with the hips. Inhale to press into your fingers, lift your heart, have a little tiny back bend. Take a deep breath in. Exhale to soften down. Inhale to circle up. Exhale, hands to heart. Thank you, guys. If you feel good, keep stretching if not.